welcome to class 10th. Okay, I really appreciate your efforts, whatever you have done till your ninth grade. Okay, now we're starting 10 today, and we're doing the first chapter of 10th standard. I would be saying that best of luck. Okay, I hope you will get very good mark in 10th grade, and definitely you will get right because I'm going to teach you. Okay, and when I teach, I definitely make sure about this thing that my students will get as much as they can, right? I'm going to discuss all the important things, what could be the thing that could come in the exams, and whatever stuff is there, right? Okay, fine, guys. So let's start into this class without even delay of a single second. Okay, perfect. So guys, basically, in today's session, what we are going to learn definitely the first chapter, okay, of mathematics, okay, of I would say your grade, 10th grade, okay. And in that chapter, we are going to learn, that the name of the chapter is real number, first of all. Okay, I should tell you the name because you might don't know the name even. The name is real number. In the chapter, we are going to learn, about Euclid's theorem is there, and how to find that CF and LCM is there. You don't you know about it already, right? I know you know about it, but I'm going to teach you this thing by a different method, I would say. Okay, fine. Yeah, and there are many more things that we are going to discuss in the chapter. Let's start then without wasting a single second. Okay, guys, so I'm sharing my screen. Just a moment. Just a moment. I hope my screen is visible to everyone, right? Okay, let's start the slideshow. So guys, today's topic is real number. And if I talk about the weightage of the chapter in the board exam, it's 6 marks, okay? And I would not say now it's a 6 mark, it's more than that as well, right? Okay, so the weightage of the chapter is really good. And in terms of difficulty level, chapter is easy, man. Chapter is easy, okay? You can learn very easily and you can score such good marks in this chapter, okay? Let's start then. Fine. So guys, in today's session, as it is the first class of ours, what we are going to learn is we are going to learn about the Euclid's division lemma and the algorithm versus lemma, and we are going to learn the Euclid's algorithm as well, okay, to find the HCF and LCM. But before that, let's have a quick review that what we have learned in the earlier classes. Okay, we have learned about the real number, guys, first of all, right? Okay, so over here, if you see in the figure, it has been shown to you that how the real number and the integers, the whole numbers, and the rational number, they have the connection, right? Okay, so all of them falls under real numbers, right? In the under the branch of real number, there is two kind of things we can say. One is called rational and one is called irrational. Both of them are real. Okay, now rational are the numbers which can be written in the form of p upon q that you have learned, right, where q cannot be zero. And irrational numbers are the number which we cannot write in the form of p upon q, right? For example, is square root of any odd number, root 2, root 3, root 5, not 1 definitely. Okay, pi is also an irrational number, right? What you are wondering about? I know. You will be saying, sir, pi is 22 by 7, right? We have just said that an irrational number is written as in the form of p by q, right? In the form of p by q, you write it. But we are writing pi as 22 by 7, and that's in the form of p upon q. And then why you are saying it's not rational? It is rational, sir. We have wrote in terms of p by q. Array, no, my kids, it is not true. The reason behind that is that pi is not 22 by 7. Pi is almost 22 by 7. The value of pi is almost 22 by 7. And that's why we cannot say that it is a rational number. 22 by 7 is something that we just use to solve the problems. Got it? Okay, yeah. Now if I talk about the rational number, in rational number you have the integers are like -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are integers, right? Okay, and then you have the whole numbers. Okay, so whole numbers is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are the whole numbers. And then you have the natural number that occur naturally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know why we call them natural number? Okay, can you show me one bottle of water? Yep, it is there. One bottle of water. Yeah, it is there, right? Can you show me one bottle of water and one pen? Or I would say, can you show me two pens? Yes, I can show you two pens, right? Okay, can you show me 0 pens? Show it to me. Oh, come on, I cannot show it actually. Yeah, there is no pen. When there is no pen, I would say it's 0 pen, right? Okay, but I cannot show it to you now. So that's why it's not natural. Natural is something that which is occurs in the nature itself. Okay, one pen is in the nature, one tree is in the nature, one person is in the nature, but 0 person isn't in the nature, right? We cannot show it to you. Okay, to show one, I have the finger, right? But to show 0, which finger I have? I don't have anything, right? To depict it. Okay, that's why we have taken 0 as a not taken as a sorry, we have taken 0 not as a natural number. It comes under the category of whole number, but not natural numbers. Got that point of mine? Okay, that was a quick review that what we have learned in the ninth grade. Now, guys, we are going to talk about the Euclid's division lemma. Okay, now I'll tell you one thing. So Euclid क्या था कि Euclid was a very clever person. Okay, he has, he has given a name Euclid's lemma to a simple thing that all of us already knows. Guys, you know that um, dividend equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Okay, I hope you know that, right? So I'll tell you, let's say if you are dividing 25 by 6, you get the divisor as 4. You get, sorry, the quotient as 4, you get the dividend as 25. You have the divisor into quotient plus the remainder. That's how you write it, right? Okay, so what I am using is that I am using dividend equals to divisor, divisor into into quotient plus a remainder, right? Okay, so actually Euclid has said the same thing. He said the same thing. What he said is that any number a can be written as b into q plus r. Any number a and b, you can understand like that. A number a and b can be written in the form of a into a equals to b into q plus r, where r would be always more than equals to 0 and less than b. So what is the logic behind that? Look, guys, we know that dividend equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder, and we know one more thing, that remainder is gonna be always lesser than the divisor, right? Definitely, if you are dividing a number by 5, the remainder cannot be 5, right? It will be less than 5. It can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it cannot be 5. Okay, and that's what Euclid said. He said that the remainder cannot be more than the quotient. It would always more than 0, but it will be always lying in between 0 and the quotient, right? That's true. Okay, and he said that this is applicable in case of two positive numbers a and b. Yeah, that's true, right? Okay, so what was the Euclid's lemma actually? If I understand it like that, Euclid's lemma is that any number, okay, any number a, or I would say in a more appropriate manner, so I would say that if we have two positive integers a and b, okay, then there would be a whole number q and r that is going to satisfy the equation a equals to bq plus r, right, guys? And yeah, that is true. I mean, like, when you learn this, when you read this, basically a lemma, you think that, oh my god, what is that? What he's saying, that if we have two positive numbers a and b, then there would be a whole numbers q and r that satisfy the equation. We wonder about that, but actually it is not something we need to wonder, because it's already we knew that dividend equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. We can write the dividend as product of two things plus the remainder. And that's what he said. He said that a number a equals to b into q plus r. What is a? A is dividend. What is b? B is divisor. What is q? Q is quotient. And what is r? R is remainder. And we know that the remainder is going to lie in between 0 and the divisor, right? And that's what he said. Okay, so I hope it is quite clear to everyone what is the Euclid's lemma was, right? Got it? Okay, there's a doubt. No doubt, right? Okay. I think just a second, guys. I need to insert a slide over here, just to make sure that you guys first solve some basic problems, okay, based on the lemma, and then after that, definitely we are going to discuss some high level problems as well. But I think that we'll discuss later on. First of all, let's try to solve the basic problem, because what is that important right now for us to understand the basic problems, right? Okay. So the problem for you guys is that find um a b q r. I mean, like, whichever is not given, you need to find that. Okay, so if a is 37, b is 6, In that case, you need to find Q and R. Okay, guys. If A is, let's say, a not given, B is, let's say, 24. Okay, Q is, let's say, 9, and R is, let's say, 3. So you need to find the value of A, right? In that case, question number 1 and question number 2. Okay, let's do these two questions. Take your time and solve them. If you have a doubt, please ask me. Okay, I'm here to solve your doubts only. Okay, yeah, think about it. Take a minute. As I said, Euclid's division lemma is nothing but you are dividing a number. That's it. You don't need to worry much to solve the problem.